What's up, dude?
Yo, so yeah, I'm streaming from VR again. Ah,
That's awesome.
hey, nice to see you. Cool.
You too.
So, and there's a friend over here. They're just chilling there. So,
I couldn't get this to work on my Surface, so I just have my phone propped up.
nice. I can already tell it's probably an iPhone
Oh
13.
yeah. Yep.
Cool. All right. So, let's get started.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
we're both excited about jetpacks, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
we're also excited about, well, selling yachts for crypto or any other currency. So
Now,
yes,
question, dude. Did you look into my history at all? So oh man,
yeah, I
I
couldn't
jumped on.
find you on the website though, but you
I
do, yeah, that those
I
companies. Let me
yeah.
just get them
So
up.
yep. I created a company called Chain LLC. That was back in 20. I had started developing relationships with everyone that were all in their infancy at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we had started negotiations. This is a really funny story, by the way. We'd started negotiations with a billionaire property owner in Washington.
Yeah, I
Uh,
know Richard, right?
no, his name is Larry Benaroya. Now, Richard's in England. Him and
Okay.
I have worked together on projects. I used to work at Microsoft. So I was an engineer at Microsoft.
Wait, so you worked at
Uh,
Microsoft and you're working with two billionaires, so two,
e-
and you want to work
yeah.
with a
So
third.
so
Uh,
what I'm trying to
okay.
do, I'm
Yes.
trying to get proper investments going because of some of these relationships that I've built. So I built the relationship with Richard because of Microsoft and my relationship with the HoloLens team. Some of those guys were my friends. We went out and had lunch.
Oh, the
We
HoloLens team? Really?
yeah, bullshitted
What?
about
I had one. I was using it
uh,
and walking through through the Dutch streets, and people thought I was crazy. I
oh,
was, but
oh,
a bit less so. Okay. Go on.
bro. I love your personality and the fact that you are just as nutty as me, and we want to get technology out there. We want to
Yeah.
push people limits. This is what we want to do. It's our personalities to do this. I keep running into other people with a similar mindset, which is how the concept of the technology center happened. It's a bunch of us like-minded mega
Yep.
geeks who just sleep and breathe tech have been taken advantage of by a lot of these corporations. Microsoft escorted me off the property by security after asking about some intellectual property that I swore they stole from me.
Wow.
Okay. So it was just, visit to HR. 15 minutes later, I'm back at my desk. There's an email that says, thanks, have a nice life.
Okay. These people. Yeah, it always happens. I've been
And
messed with through the last 2 years. Sadly.
yeah, and this has happened most of my acquaintances and my friends. So
Mm-hmm.
most of my right now, these are all guys that I've known for over a decade, dude. I mean, they are some of my most trusted friends,
Mm-hmm.
advisors, and some of the best engineers that I've ever found. I know for a fact that we are all some of the best on the West Coast in the US, but the East Coast is a different story. The scientists and engineers over there they play a different game. On the West Coast, we're more we're more like creative artists in the fact that we have a different
Mm-hmm.
we have a flow as far as the tech that we develop out here on the West Coast, the engineering, the types of brains that we have. East Coast engineers are strange.
I
They're
agree.
they're very mechanical, very
I mean, but they
computational.
did do the Manhattan Project. I'll give him that. But that
Oh
was a bit
yeah,
of everything.
but there's a different type of brilliance on that end, and I don't claim to be one of those brilliant guys. I am a creative guy that thinks outside of the cube, which is the point of the other individuals that I'm trying to collect to come into the technology center and basically
So
take.
this is it. This is the secret super AI company that nobody's talking about, where all the people
Uh,
too good for Google go to.
yes, that's part of it. So I'm trying to collect some of the best developers that you can possibly do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so after a meeting or two, I will introduce you to, no shit, quite literally, some of the most brilliant developers on earth.
Oh yeah,
One of them's a personal friend of mine. His name is Douglas Finch. It's
Douglas
okay, I say,
Finch.
uh-huh. He is 72 years old. He is the man that was responsible for pretty much programming everything that Boeing had in their aircraft.
What the hell?
He
Okay,
reprogrammed Air Force One for the U.S. government.
Jesus.
He reprogrammed half of our nuclear arsenal.
Oh my God, that's the best programmer in existence, indeed. Oh my
And
God, programming a
he,
nuclear arsenal.
he
Uh,
happens
yeah,
he
go on.
happens to be my best friend and business partner's dad.
Jesus Christ, this
So
is
he's fan. So my
uh,
best
yeah.
partner, Nathan Finch, who is the head of all of IT right now at
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft.
And
So
yeah, what
he's
about him?
like, and as soon as we start making enough revenue,
Mm-hmm.
revenue programmers, mechanical architects,
Mm-hmm.
is what I people that are mechanically savvy. They can look at something and just see it and build it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be involved in robotics project. I had secure drone systems in the past. I was
Can I
negotiating a
work on a robot too? Just asking.
oh all robotics. I don't care. I want
All robotic.
personal.
Yeah,
I
please.
actually want
Okay.
I Boston Dynamics to look at us on the West Coast and go, oh shit, we have a competitor.
But if Boston Dynamics even says that, then you're some good shit. Holy fuck.
That
But
yeah,
I already
that's
know how to make it, by the way. But then you're
I
some good shit. Let's
I
go.
know that's my dream, and all it takes right now, my friend, are the right people. That's
Mm-hmm.
all we have to do is put the right people in
Yeah, it's
place.
all the right people.
Yeah. So there's my plan, and what happened with Kevin? So this kid Kevin Johnson hit me up on LinkedIn, and Kevin Johnson is a daredevil. Okay, Kevin
Mm-hmm.
Johnson is ex explosive ordnance disposal from the U.S. military.
Mm-hmm.
He's a jumper, a diver, a bungee jumper. I mean, he's already amassing the components to build the jet suit. He's got his garage full of parts already. We can't afford the engines because that's 50 grand.
I can help you
We're
there.
doing okay. Well, we're doing most of this out of our own pockets, just to make this happen. Kevin hit me up on LinkedIn. He was like, "Hey, my name is Kevin Johnson. I'm just another jet suit pilot," and I thought that he was one of my friend Richard's guys. So I started conversations with this kid, not realizing that he is someone who Richard knows, but he wants to be his direct competition for the
Oh
U.S.
my god.
For the international jet suit circuit racing teams that Richard is trying to pump up and build right now.
Oh, oh
So
yes,
Rich,
yes. Did you
Richard
know?
is the man. I,
Yeah, yeah. I fly jets a lot in VR. I basically already beat a F-22 pilot 2-0, right? And
ah,
some other pilots too undefeated. I'm still undefeated by actual pilots
yeah,
for now, but I kind of wanna experiment a bit too because there's a new uh, hyperplane that we
yeah.
have, and I'd like to recreate it uh,
One of my ideas,
later. Yeah,
one
go
of
on.
my the jet suit. We're thinking forward innovation all the time. My friends and I were always. Our girlfriends have dumped us in the past because they call us pie in the sky dreamers, right? We're dreamers. No, we're realists in the fact that we can see a future. So we're
Exactly.
already about further generations of a jet suit. I mean, one of the things that's been brought to the table is the concept of a pulse detonation engine. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
I've
know
heard
what
of
that
those
is.
pill jets.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and I
So,
think those are necessary for ultra, for one of those hyperplanes in a sense. But go on.
a rotary pulse jet,
Mm-hmm.
a rotary detonation jet engine
Mm-hmm.
providing thrust and being contained in a strong magnetic field. The problem is you have to have it hooked up to something the size of a trailer to produce the amount of power that it
I already
requires.
have a system that in mind to do that. It's I don't know if you've seen my recent video about Safira, but in a sense, under 20,000 degrees Celsius, you can have fusion. So I would call it mild fusion, and
That's
I
your
think, hmm?
plasma at that point.
Yeah, it's plasma. But it, yeah, I think if you use if you maybe even with existing technology, but if not, just with helium-3 from the moon. That's why I want another moon mission, just to just collect some dirt. That's all I really
I
want out of it.
I
Uh,
agree. We've got other people in our circle of friends, and I'm trying to get a hold of Richard Branson right now. Richard
mhm.
Branson, he's a philanthropist, he's a humanist. He believes in the bigger cause. And I was lucky enough to be at the Mojave Desert back in 2006. I watched the launch of Spaceship One,
Mhm.
and that I was privileged enough to be there. I got to shake Sir Richard's hand. He didn't. I was one of a million people, so it's not like
You
he'd
got
ever
to
remember
shake his
me.
hand.
But
Nice.
I got to shake his hand, and 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 I felt very honored in doing that. But I was young. I didn't have my brain engaged the way I do right now.
Mhm.
This is what I'm a little older. Now that I'm dipping back into my past, one of my contacts, one of my close friends from Southern California, who I haven't seen in years, his name is David Rutan. His uncle is Burt Rutan, the guy that flew the plane around the world back in the 80s and also built Spaceship One and Spaceship
He
Two for Richard
built
Branson.
Spaceship One and Spaceship Two. Can you
Burt Rutan.
expand on those two? Like,
Burt,
what
Burt
did
Rutan.
they achieve?
Okay, so Burt Rutan is the founder of a composites company based in Southern California. Richard Branson's company, Virgin, hired this composites company based out of Southern California, who happens to be owned by one of my closest friends' uncle.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that moment and I reached out to Richard. I got accepted on LinkedIn and I reached out to Richard Branson with a note that basically described that moment a decade ago, right? Or more
Mm-hmm.
than a decade ago. That, hey, this was the moment. I was with my best friend David at the time. His uncle was Burt Rutan. Burt built your aircraft. I remember meeting you. Would you please reach out to me? I have questions. I'm doing something big. I haven't got a response yet. Um, I don't know if I ever will, but
Be so good they can't ignore you.
that's exactly the point that I'm trying to make. So I've reached out to everyone possible. I've gotten one response from Elon Musk, which is enough for me for confirmation. That means that some of the wealthiest, most intellectual people on Earth,
Mm-hmm.
in it, Jacques Boddy and the Technology Center and the few other people that I've amassed, and they're scrutinizing us right now.
Oh, that's
I
good.
know,
It's only good. You only get
I know,
stronger from that.
because the billionaire Larry Benaroya that was going to invest in my 170,000 square foot data center facility back in 2016. Basically, my life fell apart back then. Divorce, BitChain fell apart. My health disintegrated. I
Oh my
just
god. Okay.
120. I mean, my life just
I
was done.
mean, look on the bright side, right? You can write an amazing book.
I know, dude. So, so Larry says, come back to me when you're healthy and you figure shit out. I can't do this. This is a bad investment. He's a billionaire, dude. So I trust him. I fell apart. I went to Southern California, went to go work for I got my health back, kind of, went to work for a government contract tech company called Forward Slope Incorporated. And
Mm-hmm.
I built the foundations for an electronic security grid array that we used on the Tunisian-Libyan border. I'm the guy that set
Oh,
up all the wireless.
dude, you just saved a couple lives, like the hundreds of thousands even.
I know, and it runs artificial intelligence algorithm that uses a sensor array on top of basically a cell phone tower.
Mm-hmm.
Across every 8 miles for a 300-mile stretch along the Tunisian-Libyan border,
Mm-hmm.
and the security grid array actually scans Libya. It's a real-time AI facial recognition database. It's object recognition. They're using TensorFlow and TensorView in ways that I've never even seen it done. Because of the data flow. I'm not a programmer, so I understand enough. I'm kind of like, my friends all lectured me last week about getting my shit together and called me the next guy to take the torch for Steve Jobs. I have the same type of burning passion that man had. So I'm trying to take all
But
these.
okay, fine. You can pick one, either Steve Jobs or Elon Musk. But
Not
leave the
Elon.
other one for me.
Oh,
Okay, then I'll take
he,
that one.
no. I
They
relate
both
most to
suck.
Jobs just because if you look at history, realize until I watched a video last week that he did the same thing I did. He went to school. He dropped out of college. He
Yeah.
made friends with his instructors. Dude, I learned more by having barbecues at
Oh
my
my
instructor's
God.
house and being than
Okay,
going to college.
I got you beat. I basically dropped out and replaced the entire school system with a piece of software. So, yeah, it's called Kimo,
That's
KIMO.ai. Yeah.
I looked at that. Yeah, I'm a little rusty on some of the European stuff, but I see where you went with that.
Hmm.
Anyhow, I could chat on and on about.
We have to meet each other. So my goal is basically that we get enough funding
Yeah.
to have me fly over, me maybe even in a jet suit. I don't know if it's good enough, but I'm gonna fly over, right? And we're gonna get hands
So
on and just build every weird thing that we can think of.
so
Because why not? Hmm?
Richard Sullivan, by the way, he will sell you one for $400,000, and he'll train
No,
you at his facility.
no. I don't like his thing, right? If he really only limits you to only
Yeah.
being able to have it stored there,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even bother. I want my own jet suit and I want to fly it whenever and wherever I
Well,
want.
when you purchase it for $400,000, it's yours to do with what you want. But he requires you to go through a training camp
Oh, a
before.
training camp. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
never mind. Then I'm interested. But I mean, if he gives me one for free, I'll give him a yacht. Is that a fair trade?
I think that would be a fair trade.
Okay.
So I'm really curious. So what controllers are you using right now for your interface?
Index. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
figured they were. Yeah.
Yeah. I also have full body tracking over here. I have my keyboard
What
that was
what are
standing
you
on.
what are you using for full body tracking?
The index, well, Valve 5 tracker, sorry. But I actually have software in the works to have
Yeah.
wireless full body tracking. So I made a software that generates fake human beings, right? Well, they're
Yep.
very hyper realistic, but fake
Yep.
anyway, right? And
Uh-huh.
they using that data set, I can basically generate everything, entire scenes, and I can like augment it like crazy and basically make it recognize anything. And I can do the same for every type of object. So then I have a universal AI system that can just recognize everything in front of it. And I'm also working on software for the Tesla bot, but I'm not going to call it Tesla bot. I'm just going to call my next version of 01 02. And 02 is apparently a very beautiful anime girl, right?
Huh.
So that's the
Yeah.
inside joke. All these people who watch anime would
Yeah.
love it. Let me just look up 02.
I know this sounds really goofy, but I've always wanted to have an AI backed Alice, kind of like Umbrella Corp. I I want to be able to talk to a holographic Alice. I really do.
Ah, okay. Well, I can get you. Yeah, I got you covered. So, what does she have to do? What kind of skills would you like?
Full personality recognition.
That's easy. I already have emotion recognition working, right?
Yeah.
So, basically, in terms of speech, it can have the same emotion patterns in their speech, and you can decide the voice. So, yeah, that's it, right? It's all about emotion, when and where.
Yep.
So that's the missing link, and I got that secret sauce. So yeah, if anyone is interested, well, I actually wanted to give it away for free,
Yeah.
but I don't think I should.
There's
Honestly,
a there's
yeah.
a thing I would agree to, and actually, you might be the missing component since you're good Cody fingers. The issue is the software, but there is it's a light based glucometer that can actually, it's non-invasive through the skin.
Mm-hmm.
It's light based.
Yeah.
Apple and Microsoft both over the last 2 years have been in lawsuits with each other over their laser based system that measures your glucose level through the skin,
Mm-hmm.
and it never got released. There's a different technology that's similar that I don't think that I could get caught up in, that still
Okay.
measures the glucose level
I
subcutaneously.
have to tell you something. You basically have to do it with infrared light, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I've already looked into brain machine interfacing. I already know exactly how to make it. I just don't have the
Uh,
resources to like construct
I,
it. So
I have the ability to
no.
construct the actual physical prototype.
Oh, you have the ability to construct a prototype. Okay, so let me tell you if well, the concept, and you can tell me if it's bullshit or not. So I know, so we know, right? So basically, it's just beaming infrared light into your brain, right? And it to read your brain. So it can it has something similar to a camera to just read what comes out on the other side, right? And then some AI processes it and it knows where the signals originated at what moment. So then you can record everything. And then if you were to want to write in the brain, you would just connect two beams together at one specific point. And doing that at the right, at the right levels enables you to spike a neuron, right? Which means it gets activated. That's still a crude way of doing it because there's internal processes within the neuron that still decide something. But I think this is a nice principled way of doing it because it's just the entire thing. So you're sure.
I think that's something similar to what Neuralink is actually doing.
No. Okay, fine.
Oh,
I would say Neuralink is limited because it's...
Musk is using their filaments. Never mind. Musk is using actual physical filaments.
Yeah, and I have many reasons to explain why that is dangerous and will never work. One, if the shielding isn't good enough, which it isn't because these filaments have to be exposed, right, in the brain, right, then you will actually be able to die whenever the next solar mass ejection, as a coronal mass ejection, comes from the sun. And also, when nuclear war happens, you will get fried. And when you get hacked, right, let's say you're a zombie, you cannot just rip it out.
Everything is electromagnetic. Everything, storage, communication, all of it, it's all electromagnetic.
Yeah, so we need to have wetware systems. So I want to use these systems to program actual stuff into your brain, right? Sure. That can do computation, and you just have to think about it, right? You basically program your brain. That's it. It's like a one-time procedure, and then it's all in your brain. So that's what I want to do, and I don't want to like bore something into someone's head. I want it to be permanent, no subscription based or anything. No, you program specific data into the brain using it, and that's like a one-time control process. So everybody can check that with the best things. You know, you don't want people to have this device at home or like use the cheapest Chinese thing or have to mass produce them and ship them all over again. We don't have time for that. No, you're gonna program people.
That's going to require stimulation of individual neurons.
Exactly, and you can do that, right? Okay. You can do that by just focusing these beams, as I said earlier, at one specific neuron. And if you do that fast enough, right? Let's say you record some dog smelling corona, right? You record those signals a couple times, and then you can recognize when the same pattern pops up again, right? That's an easy way to solve corona without any invasive measures in anybody. Like then you get the R value way below 1. Besides that, I would say you can program a mental save button, right? You have to program the programming system for your brain, and then you're done. You need to be able to execute stuff. So we just hijack the brain in a sense, and then have our perfect neural processor under our control. Normally you have to learn this with meditation and everything, and you have to program it yourself, but then you're old and it's all too late to make the right smart decisions. But luckily I managed to do it way before people normally get to that stage because of VR. I managed to get several lifetimes worth of experience just by being here for 2 years. So you can just hop from world to world, fly jets, talk to everybody, right? From every background, everywhere. And that's what you need. So that's why I love the metaverse. It made me smarter. And I want to bring this joy to everybody so other people can program themselves in the right ways. So that way you can learn anything you desire by just going to the world and like having focus points that you save mentally, and then you just edit your internal neural network. You manually just save new knowledge in the right way. And then you have a sustainable routine. So my website, Suro.ai. Suro, it stands for sustainable routines. So I'm basically saving the world by designing new types of societies and ways to connect to the world, to and from VR. So Suro uses VR, AI, and also blockchain technologies actually that's under the hood, but we don't really talk about it to automate real life and virtual tasks. So this was my way to do a home run, but I kind of want to be Iron Man too, or Aquaman at least. I guess you're Iron Man since you're busy with the jet suits. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure not going to fly it. That's for sure.
I actually love this website. You know what I noticed? Right. So look. Okay. So on this website, when you look at the team, for example, right? This is the smartest concept ever. You basically have the team be the test pilots. Wait, where's it? Yeah. Somewhere you can see that the team is actually just the test pilots. So the chief electronics engineer, right, and everything.
Yeah. All of Richard's guys have flown one of these. I was actually going to fly out to London sometime this year, but then all the COVID crap happened. I never got trained.
I love the team. Just look at it. They're all cool people, almost like some special forces. So
no, they're also really good people too. They're just awesome.
Whoa. Gents, okay.
Huh. Yeah, I never even looked at
the head of electronics is a jet suit test pilot. That's so genius. Like, right incentive structures, If you want to train made well, you have the engineer who programmed the software write it every day to work.
Now, there you go. What would be interesting would be a VR jet suit experience.
Oh yeah, I could make that with a friend. I guess I actually have the perfect person sitting right here. He can't really hear you, but he made a rocket jump map, right,
so
in VR.
We could actually make an entire VR experience.
Yeah, you can make the training part of the experience. Yeah, that's a good one.
We could sell it to Richard. Richard would buy it off of us.
If you can guarantee that, I'll make it happen.
I'll talk to him. I'll find out. I'll ask him.
Okay, I'll ask my guy. All right, okay. Tully, you're gonna get a couple $1 million from a random job. Do you want to make jet suits in VR?
Yeah.
See what he says. I mean, I was already making hover tanks in VR.
Hover tanks too. Okay, he was already making hover tanks, and this is up his alley apparently. So yeah, okay, let's get it sorted.
Okay, well, have him do me a favor. Have him take a look at Gravity's website.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to the site.
Like the conceptual design idea is like your guys' version of a sketch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can just provide that. I can provide something. I can provide a copy to Richard to just say, hey, we could like literally make you something kind of like this, and I could get him to bite.
Yeah, I also like this whole Tesla bot design. Because the top is like black. You can project something from the inside, right? And maybe have some flexible, transparent silicone on the outside, and then you can take on any face that you would like.
That's right, like a holographic face.
Have you ever seen the movie Mitchell's vs. Machines?
I have not. Okay, so I think we can solve everything. Okay. Nice. Wow. I think we should just get started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know for a fact that this week I just talked to a bunch of my engineering friends and real friends last week, and they all said that this is pretty much go time. On everything.
It is pretty much go time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got you over there. All right. And this has to at least get his attention. I've been trying for weeks. This guy is so unreachable. That's like he's closing his ears at this point. Oh my god.
Who's been unreachable?
Elon. Oh. Like I'm even preparing a fucking dance video with this robot with better proportions, mind you.
He's a fucking idiot. He's a
my friend is maybe.
Put together a quick little video clip, and then a bunch of us can just start spamming him with it.
No, I want this guy to come begging and to admit defeat. Because we want to do a hardcore smackdown to Elon Musk, right? This guy is like the crypto king, but he doesn't know anything about crypto. Meanwhile, I made the best crypto exchange of my country while I was just also studying some random degree, right? And they bought one of our top soccer companies. Sorry, football. Well, soccer. Yeah, I'll just say soccer, right? Team. So I think I know more about crypto. I've been in it over 10 years, right? I've even saved people who got scammed like $10 million, but the FBI is ignoring this case. I just sent them all the proof. They just don't know how to handle it. They don't know. I'm like, okay.
This is funny. I'm going to make you laugh right now.
How?
Yeah, I got threatened by the feds.
You
I
got
actually
threatened by the feds?
I
Oh, wait, don't show
threatened.
your ID on the stream.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
This is
Oh.
the card. They handed me this card, and then they took my fucking hard drives, took all my Bitcoin wallets. Man, I had a really bad year.
They stole from you. Why?
Because the U.S. federal government is involved a lot more in the crypto
They're
market.
stealing your data and your money.
They're stealing everything
from you.
Anyone. Yeah, they're stealing on the mass.
We have to get people to these arcs. I'm calling them arcs. Like, now is the time to mention. My name is God, by the way, on VR chat. I'm calling them arcs. My name on Chill Out VR is Parzival, which is from the series Ready Player One. I really love the metaverse, so I hope to just have this be the default, so people can actually live a life free of discrimination, free of unfair policies, more transparency, because it's all using crypto. We're just gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
Business meetings, for God's sakes. We can have a virtual conference table.
Yeah.
And all, no matter where we're at, can sit down at the conference table.
Yeah, I have one world of like that. There's a lot actually, but I usually like flying and talking with people because you can also scare them at the right times, right? You can put them in a certain emotional state. It's funny when they like it, at least. All right. I kind of do want to give people flight lessons though after winning some world championship a while ago. So yeah, if people really wanna like hit me up in VR, just come. I am actually looking for people to design new worlds. So if you want a well-paid commission and a clear use case and everything, just send me a message on LinkedIn. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I have definitely be very interested in what you're up to. So I'm kind of
Oh, your connection is lagging a bit. I guess the FBI is zoning in on you now. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. You're back. Welcome back. Oh, you got a call. Yeah. That's why. Someone called you and then your connection just yeeted away. That's nice. I would turn on Do Not Disturb or something. Well, just ignore calls.
I've got a Wireshark running, and I've got traffic going to weird places. So.
Yeah, that's your daily data dump. I would check your router, and if it's Chinese, well, yeah.
It's not. Yeah, no, it's an American router.
Okay, don't tell the name. Don't tell it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Yeah. Otherwise, they'll just look up, hey, exploit this thing, and then they know, and then they'll steal the jet suits, and then we'll have rooftop people. You don't want that. You don't want strong supervillains as a hero.
I think we want to create as many superheroes as we can before the supervillains start popping up.
Yeah, they will start popping up, right? But we'll be ready. All right, this is a live movie, apparently. There we go. All right, let me just switch over to here.
Awesome. Yeah, I need to get my VR environment running again. I haven't messed with it for a while.
It's amazing. Like, I've been living only in VR. I never really miss anything. I go to like clubs as much as I want. Like, it's like a 24/7 type of deal here. The lap dances are out of this world and free. People are all cute. Just look at that. That's Paimon. Okay. Anyway, yeah. It's basically heaven. Honestly.
Yeah.
to me, yeah, to someone like me, right? Like I can
So
even be Spider-Man if I wanted to, or
I
have
got in,
tentacles.
I got involved in a online platform about a decade ago called Second Life. I'm sure you know that, right?
Yeah, it also has an economy going on. It's
Exactly. And
really
I got
nice.
beginning when it started with its economy and everything. Um, so I get it. I totally understand. Yeah, it was pure freedom, is what it was.
Mm.
Hmm.
I think VR chat is that times like a million. It's even
Mm-hmm.
better, especially the performance. It's more. It's just so real, especially when you're in full body. You can just
Yeah.
and there's also
I'll get,
haptic suits now they're pretty cheap, like 200 euros. You already have one, right? And then you can feel anything that someone does to you, and even if someone like threw a dart, you would feel that
yeah.
specific spot. So, of course, you can turn it up and down in terms of your pain tolerance, but I think it's useful, especially for like dates. So I am actually making a secret. Well, I'm not gonna say the secret thing. Never mind. Um,
That's fine.
yeah. All right.
Okay, that makes
Hmm?
I like it.
Okay. So yeah, I think we've got this sorted. We have to continue doing what we're doing. We have to keep flying. We're like super cruising right now, and we have to get more superheroes to just join us and have a clear goal, which is just for okay. My clear goal is a post scarcity society. So basically, you do not have to work. Everything is free. And how do you do that? We have space mining going on. We have automated farming, automated shipping, with automated ships that you can order for directly through me. So and also climate change. Like I basically did this ship thing to save my country because we're basically below sea level, right? And we're
Oh yeah.
guaranteed gone. So we can just increase our landmass to a small country using these things, and they're modular too. You can connect them into large islands, whatever you want, really, and move to where the weather is good, which is what I'm gonna do in the future.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I would say the ships. This all ties into a larger plan, but the ships are also going to be able to create cloud cover, right? So if you basically heat up water or like just make it go near clouds or like even electrocute clouds using some drones, then you can make it rain. And if you do this in a smart, automated way, you can move cloud cover around, so you can cool down hurricanes, or at least the source of warm water that hurricanes would use as fuel, which happened recently. You can cool those preemptively, and then stop these events from happening. Right? You can even redirect hurricanes at that point. What would you do if you could like have a permanent hurricane going on, huh? If you had
Right.
like a route on your planet, and this hurricane would just get moved there, and we would just fuel it, and we use all of that energy for wind energy, and then you'd have a band all over the world with this hurricane, and that hurricane wouldn't be a hurricane of damage; it's a good hurricane, a tempest. So, what do you think about that? That's something we should not forget, right? Like I would say that solves so many problems. We use the energies of
Oh,
disasters against well we use the energies of disasters for positive things, right? It's not something to hurt you, it's something to help you, and maybe we've been missing that.
yeah, maybe. Um, so when you're talking about 3D printing yachts, now are you looking at advanced 3D printing technologies?
Depends on the
Um,
use case. Name
so
something.
so so General Electric. I was fortunate enough to be up at Microsoft in the development lab where they have two General Electric titanium 3D printers. They call them the twins.
Hmm.
Um, NASA uses them to print rocket nozzles with. You can print an engine block.
Ad Astra,
And
they do that. Oh yeah, I've seen it actually. It went like in a loop, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, NASA,
yeah, that
yeah,
one.
NASA, but NASA uses them for all kinds of different, nozzles and valves
Dude,
and all kinds of
I
things.
kind of need one. So, but go on with what you were saying.
So what I'm saying is, if you really wanted to 3D print yachts, 3D printing yachts out of titanium could be done.
Let's do that. Yes, I called this cyber yacht, but this would literally make you be able to print them within no time, right? And just add some small hardware to ship them. So yeah, that's the plan. Let's go.
The problem with the General Electric titanium 3D printers is they do not sell them. They will only lease them to you, and they're millions, like hundreds of millions of dollars.
You know what we're gonna do? The first thing that we're going to print is the machine.
Right.
No, really, we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've 3D printed my own 3D printers.
Yeah.
Not a new concept.
Yeah, but we don't tell them that, by the way. We're just gonna print the parts separately and just design it a bit different, but it's just doing the same thing. And then we do the same, but for free or whatever, for the resource. If we're not, yeah, I would say we have to keep printing 3D printers for a while until we want to scale up. So this way you can help everybody and save the world. And please don't mess it up again, because I don't want to come back to help people who just created a mess out of nothing. So yeah, sometimes it feels like Earth is like a daycare, and the thing is, you only get one life, right? But that's also the benefit. You only get one life, so it's your goal to make immortality happen. That's it, right? Like billions or trillions of years possible, and I think that's doable.
It will be possible one day with the advancements that we're making in technology, which is the reason I founded the Technology Center in Washington, because that's the point. We want to push the boundaries of what we're capable of with our technology. And when our consciousness, this energy that's in this meat suit, will eventually exist electronically.
It's we are basically substrate independent. However, I will still keep my meat suit until it stops working, and I'll just keep it working forever, because it's just wetware, right? And you can just edit it. It has code, so you can just make it so it doesn't break, or at least is able to fix itself, because it's all about understanding how it works.
And it's I just talked to a biological scientist about this. It was one of the friends that I was hanging out in the warehouse with last weekend, and telling me that modern science thinks that they've actually cracked the code to aging, and it actually has to do with specific inflammation in cells.
Inflammation?
And that inflammation. Inflammation is the largest contributor to aging in our body. Inflammation of
yeah, I've got a specific company that I want to buy up now. I'm not gonna go on.
But internal cellular inflammation is apparently the leading cause to aging our individual cells. So that leads to the aging of everything, the exoderm, all of it. I mean,
how do you stop it? How do you prevent it? Let's start there.
He said they're called That's called NTEs, I think. Hold on,
NTE?
let me look. Maybe it's called NTEs. It's N something.
What do they do?
Let me look if I can figure out what this is. So there we go. So if you look up, just type NTE and aging in Google, or whatever search.
Okay, I'll try my best not to search for NTR.
It says aging, enzyme neuropathy. Let's see. NTE. But they're saying the NTE could be the actual, like that is, because it's
okay, but there's a lot of companies also selling in like anti-aging stuff, but they're just selling random stuff. So I need something about the science.
Let's see. Here's a good one.
Huh? Okay, I'll check LinkedIn.
NTE. Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. Let's see.
I mean, there are people selling
Oh yeah, that one.
like vitamins and crap that don't even pay attention to that stuff. It's just a bunch of garbage.
Yeah, so I actually had a phase where I was like doing trying to make myself smarter. I don't know if it actually worked. You'll be the judge, but I was using nootropics. Uh, I do not. This is not medical advice, right? But and I also experimented with just optimizing my vitamin D levels, for example, my using also ZMA, which is just, well, yeah, just look it up, right? It's some supplement, but I got inspired by the movie Limitless, you know,
I did.
like something like that in a pill. But I actually don't think you need a pill. I think it's all in your head.
It is. It is. It's all mental. I have just recently been starting to meditate.
Yeah,
And
exactly. It's
find
programming,
compartmental.
and like
It
they
is.
need
It's pro.
need to rename it. Like
Yeah.
programming also sounds cooler, or mental states. I don't
Well,
know.
it is. It is programming. I've had this conversation before with the gentleman I mentioned, Douglas Finch, my friend's dad.
Mm-hmm.
He got autism, so it makes
Mm-hmm.
him a hyper genius. Um,
Really?
and he has learned how to compartmentalize and reprogram and move information around in his own mind. Um, he started trying to basically teach me the basics, but I didn't get it until just recently. It just kind of clicked. Um, but there's other reasons behind that. I've had several near-death experiences in the last 5 years, and because of those, I'm not connected the same way that most people are. Something
Okay,
happened.
let me tell you something crazy. My
Yeah.
theory of like what happens after that. I think I have to say this, right? Since my username. But basically, when you die, a lot of DMT gets released. I mean, I am starting about DMT, Joe Rogan, but I'm serious. DMT gets released in
It,
your brain, right? And then
yeah.
you basically have the biggest trip of your life because, well, it's the
Yeah.
last one and it's like a lot. And the nice thing about DMT, your perception of time gets warped, right? So something that takes like a minute maybe might feel like hours, days, years.
Yeah.
And you don't know how long that lasts, moments before death. So depending on the way you die, I would say you could even simulate it without dying, but that would probably be the full dive experience that people are talking about. Basically, you have full dive in your brain, so you just imagine it, but still
Yeah.
connect a little bit of data during those hyperspeed moments on DMT, right? Which is kind of the nanoparticle that you're injecting. It's literally just taking DMT in specific ways,
Sure.
right? Maybe even an automated system in your arm or whatever for automated delivery, so you can like instantly like load up.
Like
And
almost. Yeah.
yeah, and that also that has the benefit that you will not be stuck in it because it will one day run out, right? So you can't
Okay.
really easily just permanently be gone in limbo or whatever, unless you mess up and like, yeah,
Yeah.
unless you mess up. But I think this is a lot more fun because then you have full. It's like lucid dreaming, like full control dreaming,
Yeah.
with the ability to like make contact with the internet. But the internet can only feed you their data, but it cannot guide you. It cannot like say what you have to do, but it just gives your brain data to pick from if it wants to, but it can just ignore it, and just say I deny your reality and constitute my own, right? You can just delete everyone if you wanted to, or just add everyone that you want to, and that would be heaven to me, right? But heaven on earth or in space, wherever you want to do this, I would say space is better because I think you might have more longevity there, purely from the fact because cells have an easier time getting stuff around. It takes a lot
Yep.
less energy if you don't have to deal with gravity, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the downside of
Gravity.
this, you're gonna have issues going back to Earth. Go
Gravity is
on.
one of the main.
I couldn't hear you. Could you say that again?
The gravity is one of the main things that ages us. I mean,
Oh,
it's what.
it is our. Oh my God. So wait a second. Could it just be that we are already immortal, but it's just gravity?
Who knows? That's an interesting thought.
Oh my
Huh.
God.
I
So and
wonder if they did cellular age testing on some of these spacecraft while they've got to be doing
whoa.
experiments on while these astronauts are in.
Um, Okay, so let's say any civilization made it into space, and they're technically immortal if they have a way to go to space undetected, and beam into like robots on Earth. Okay, let's. Okay. Yeah, we might need another EMP. All things considered, just to be sure.
That's
Yeah.
that's yeah. So well, so I'm a little odd in the fact that I've read almost everything there is to do with religions and history, just because
Mm.
I'm trying to explain my own experience starting 5 years ago. I think I had an ultimate DMT experience, is what happened. But
I was
my
gonna
mind
say which psychedelics were you making use of, because that's how they got to this shit.
was from near death. I was my body was starting to fail, and I was completely
Ah,
scared.
and that's when you knew. And you
Yeah, and I
basically
think
lived life at hyperspeed in a simulation, and you might not have remembered everything, but you still got the core principles.
yep,
Oh my god.
yeah.
How did you get into that state? Like, how did
But
you almost die?
it was just, I don't know. That's the crazy part, is I was driving my Jeep, my best friend of 20 years, so I invited up to help me with the Benaroya group thing. This was years ago, 5 years ago, and I was with some friends. I had quit drinking. I was going a lot. Oh, guess what it was? Extreme emotional and physical stress. So
Oh.
I had just left home, was staying in a hotel, left my wife, who was insane.
Oh my
Uh,
god. This is why we have to
and
fix dating. It kills people. Like, really. Oh
and
my
I had
god.
already had a bunch of signs that I had thought were signs of cancer. I was quickly losing weight. I was I was sick. I mean, I looked like Skeletor for a while, man. I was awful, and at that point where my body was really weak, I think that everything just decided to start twitching or something, because
Yeah, it's
I
basically
was
started as a signal of like, yeah, I'm gonna die. It just started
yeah,
with that
yeah.
drive, pretty much.
I
I
was
think, I
driving.
guess it just starts because your body is so worn down that your body just gives up. It's not
Yep,
aging,
yep,
it's just you
yep.
giving the killing blow. Uh,
Exactly. And I remember leaning back in my truck seat going, "Oh, what's going on, man? I feel weird." And I grabbed a scar on the back of my head that it's a long story. And I started rubbing it, and all of a sudden, everything started sounding like the Matrix, like in my head. And I was like, "Bro," and I looked at my buddy Matt, and I said, "Bro, something feels weird."
Wow. You was time going slower?
And I was no, yeah, everything started to slow down around me, really slow, and then
Whoa.
all started sounding digital in my head, and I could hear it, and I kept repeating myself, like I'm like Matt, something's going on and on and on and on,
Oh, I've experienced that only once.
and then I felt like high voltage, just like boom, it was like I was stuck on a high voltage line, right? And Matt said he looked at me, I quit breathing,
Hmm.
and I was frozen right in front of him, just like this, just frozen. And at that moment,
Wow. Go on.
because I can't lie anymore after this experience, it's really weird.
Mhm.
I I felt in my Jeep white
Sorry.
light.
Could you repeat that? Your audio is cutting out.
Fine. It was a warm golden white that came around my body like a tractor beam, but it
Hmm.
felt like pure love.
Hmm.
And it sounded like it
Wow.
sounded digital inside when it enveloped me. And then I saw myself leaving. I saw the top of my head. I saw myself leaving my body, and the tractor beam just felt like it accelerated, and I found myself in space. That was what I imagined was in space, and I was reaching up
Oh my god.
toward what I felt was home, and it was brighter, but I couldn't touch it. And then there was a voice that, "No, you can't come here. You have to go back. You have too much left to do."
Yeah, I would
And
kick you in the butt, dude. Oh my god, imagine.
the whole feeling was
Yeah,
burst,
it's
and I
aliens
was
or
happy.
whatever interfering. Like, oh no, main character, don't die.
Yep, I was knocked back down into my body, and I just remember hitting my body, and I woke up, and I was
Yeah.
just twitching. Like I twitched and twitched and twitched. I couldn't talk. Matt watched me twitch for 4.5 hours in a Safeway a grocery store parking lot here. He was trying to not get any attention because I was twitching for 4.5 hours, which I was every nerve in my body getting reintroduced to my energy being smacked back in.
Whoa,
That's the
it's
way
like the
I see it.
load, the startup. So you experience the shutdown and the startup mechanism. That's so
Yep. And
cool.
once the whole reboot process started to happen, and the brain and all the gray matter started firing up again, all the neurons and everything were in shock, and every nerve in my body was twitching. It was all in shock. I could feel it in every muscle. It was crazy.
Wow.
So I think that I experienced the human version of a complete reboot. Like the software almost left kind of reboot. And then
A soft reboot. That's really cool.
I have been different ever since for the last 5 years. For example, I tested this theory the other night here, and I've been using this theory repeatedly now. I have an additional sense now that either I wasn't
Aware of? Yeah. Wait, you're falling away? Can you repeat that?
sorry. There's this additional sense that I'm pretty sure that I ended up with from this experience, and it feels like a cable being attached to my gut, and it pulls me. Right?
Oh my god. Wait, no. That was a sense that you had in the past. And that's
Well,
what the reboot gave you. It just started a startup sequence. But go on.
If I don't listen to that feeling,
Yeah.
bad things will happen. If I do listen to the feeling,
yeah, you
what in my mind is actually going to happen. And I've been having this happen a week in advance. So I went to I'm in Palm Springs on vacation, mostly because my girlfriend just I need to get my mind on work. And that feeling washed over me after eating dinner and told me I needed to go to downtown Palm Springs. I didn't want to go out, but the feeling told me I needed to go out. So I went to downtown Palm Springs. I passed the only casino in downtown, and everything inside of me, that overwhelming cable tug, said, you need to go to the casino. I don't like casino, okay? But it's another version of me testing this feeling. So I'm like, okay, every time I listen to this feeling, guys.
Yeah, I have the same thing, by the way, but I'm not going to tell you how I got it.
Okay, so it brings me to exactly the next thing that I need. Well, I happen to spend too much money on a rental car that I had last week, and a bunch of problems happened, and I'm mostly broke. But I had a $20 bill on my pocket, and I get paid whatever. I get paid next week.
Oh my god, I actually did the same thing. Now that I remember it, when I got into, I'm not going to tell you, actually. Go on.
So I go into the casino. Everybody's getting carded. The guy that was carding everyone acted like he knew me and had a conversation with me. Didn't even ask me for my ID. It was weird, but I wear a lot of native jewelry, so maybe he assumed that I was one of the freaking, I don't know. But I walked around for 10 minutes. I did one lap in this tiny casino, and I saw, after I did one lap, I saw the tallest sign in the middle of the room above some gambling machines.
Yeah, you can look at it, and it reflects. Go on.
It had my initials. It said JB.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, but you might have just missed some data and but go on.
But it was brighter than everything else. So I was like,
oh no, you were actually manipulated. No. This is basically how they manipulate. The casino made you win. It's not you. It was a casino. They used subliminal messaging to make you think it was a magical thing. I'm sorry, but it's a casino. They call it casino always wins. So if you were to like that and you come back with a lot more money, right? Yeah.
For algorithm. I figured it was part of the algorithm, and I
Mm-hmm.
could almost feel the algorithm, which is the weird part. I'm not crazy.
You felt the operating system of the casino, and it has
Yes,
some bugs that you can exploit.
but it was almost like it was guiding me because I put a $20 bill in. I had my hand over the little paddle, and and there was like this almost electrical nudge in my gut that I felt that was telling me to just push the button. And every time I felt the feeling in my gut, I pushed the button. I won 9 jackpots in a row the other night on a penny.
What?
I drew a crowd behind me and security.
You could feel the electronic currents. You were
I
feeling it.
I
You
felt
could feel it, and your brain decoded it and like translated it. So it's basically has a small electronic leak. Maybe something planted there by an employee, but who knows? But you felt that.
Yeah, but it's strange. I mean, I drew a crowd behind me. I won. I mean, it wasn't a lot of money. It was $300, but still, $300 in a penny machine, like 9 jackpots.
Or they directed the software, but go on.
Yeah, I think they might have directed the software because the guy behind me kept saying, "That's impossible. That's just statistically impossible. How do you get that many jackpots in a row?" And I looked up, and I saw at least 50 security cameras just within my peripheral vision, and I had a really odd feeling, like, like this feels like it's manipulated, like almost like
Whoa.
this, like they have AI that watches you and tells by
Yeah.
your
The AI wanted
light.
to make you a degenerate gambler or
Yep.
something else, or you're
Yep.
smart, but who knows? It's probably
And
AI.
the AI could even have control over the lighting on the
Mm-hmm.
actual individual. I mean, shit that comes up on the screen, you name it, just to entice you in.
Oh my
And
god.
okay, I'm going to make you a winner just to keep you sucked in so that we can get
Yeah.
all your.
Yeah.
I
And all your friends'
but
money, right?
but the weird part I don't understand is why did I still have that gut feeling to go to a casino that I don't like, to go in, spend less
Yeah,
than
that's
20
the
minutes,
only thing that's different here. Maybe there was something else.
and then I left
Hmm.
with the amount that I needed that I was short, and now I'm fine.
Huh. Ask and you shall receive. So maybe let's say there is some secret stuff going on. It doesn't always mean that they're against you. In
No.
fact, I would think one would actually want you to be as successful as possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say you have to open an outlet to you, like literally just a token or like a fundraiser. Like hmm?
Other things have been happening to me lately too, like really weird stuff. Like I Enterprise rent a car. I went to bring the broken car back.
Hmm.
They couldn't find my information. Like the system kept crashing,
Oh,
and
that's
they
because the
they went
FBI probably did some stuff.
they
But go
well, yeah,
on.
they went to the car, and then they couldn't for a minute. Then they come back, and they're like, "Oh, well, here they just hand wrote me some notes and stuff." And they're like, "Well, the only car that we can rent to you right now is that white BMW M3." And I'm like, okay. So, and they didn't even send, they scribbled things on a freaking, I don't even, it's around here somewhere, on a sticky note to say that James said I could leave the gate or something like that. I had to show it to the guard when I left the airport, but they didn't give me any paperwork. What the hell, dude? Weird crap. My GPS coordinates have been showing up wrong, certain things. I mean, all kinds of weird crap has been going on. Now, it almost makes me wonder, are there agencies that have the ability to just tinker and manipulate any tech that they want at any moment,
I
wherever
think
you
it's
are?
a decentralized network of hackers,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. These
Huh.
people are super smart, and they wouldn't ever work for a casino. They would exploit it from the outside in unseen ways. It's
Well,
literally a money bank at that point for them. If you
it
hack a
almost,
casino, you're basically rich, right?
yeah, I get it, but I almost feel like somewhere, somehow, has some interest in me somewhere, and they're like doing these little things.
Yeah, it's a singularity. Like every
Yeah,
hacker worth their salt.
like 15 to 20 coincidences in a row.
Hmm. You might actually have something that's the most amazing thing ever. You have a guardian angel, like a white hat hacker that somehow wants to make you rich and has incentive to make you rich.
Oh, wait a second. I just thought of
Oh,
something.
FBI?
No, a couple of those. A couple. Okay, so um, I used to be really good with Linux, and I was so
Mm.
good with Linux that my name before I really even started
Oh,
normal people was user mod. I used to be user mod, and I am no longer user mod.
oh my
I mean,
God.
if anyone wants to know, that's who I was.
Well, what do you
And
mean
I
user
know
mod? But could you?
user mod was my hacker name, and
Mm.
I realized that one of my closest friends who taught me how to do some things. His
Mm.
name is Brian Brand, and his hacker name was Notorious Saboteur.
Mm.
He's the guy that crashed all the reporting agencies and shit back in 2005. right,
I
right in
see.
front of me, right in
Oh
front
my
of me
God.
at a Dave and Buster's. He did it at a Dave and Buster's restaurant. It was
Did
fucking
they make
hilarious.
that movie about that guy? Like I saw something
Uh,
on Netflix recently, like some hacker that got arrested. Wait, no, that's a different guy. That
nah, different one,
Kevin, that guy
yeah,
called
yeah.
Kevin.
Kevin Mitnick. I
Hmm.
know Kevin. I know Kevin Mitnick too. I actually
You
just
know
sent him a
him,
message. Yeah.
huh? Might be related.
So
That sounds like
you know
him,
what?
actually. That
You
sounds
know what?
literally like him. Make your
You know
friends
what?
rich. Yeah.
Now that I think about it, there's been way too many weird things, and it's only been the last couple of months. But it just seems like it's never like physical manifestation. It's always weird shit happening with electronics, right? Like
Electronics
things that
and
happen.
weather. You can also control weather now. So I would say some super hackers are actually playing God or a hero instead of a villain. And they're also manipulating the government because it creates new incentive structures. So for a better local life, so you can also have stuff against climate change, more decentralization, less big government because everybody loses trust in the government because they're clowns, in a sense, because of the measures they do, like totalitarianism in Australia, of all places, right? Maybe some Chinese takeover, I don't know, but something fishy is going on, and nobody's speaking up about it. So yeah, something's going on. Some secret plans, some bad actors, some good actors, hopefully more good actors. If this is all a construct, it's the smartest construct ever because there's a lot of people who do not know about each other working in unison on a dream of utopia. So that would be beautiful. If this story has a happy ending, I would want it to be that with robot girls, of course. Yeah. Oh my! I think we could go on for hours. All things considered, are you still there? Oh, oh no, you left. No. Okay, I'll just end the video here. Um, I guess you want more, right? I'm gonna say it, but I'm gonna do it with a dance. Like and subscribe if you wanna see more. Tell your friends to buy my yacht for crypto. I think that was the most cringe one. I guess that's something. Okay. Yeah, see ya. And Elon, reach out. I want to have a video call with you. Maybe even you being in VR as an anime girl, like a cat girl. I would love that. I think your fans would too. Yeah. Peace out. And yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, don't forget to hit the bell button, right? The bell button. Bye bye.